So yeah.
Okay, folks, we'll get started in 1 more minute.
Can we ask who's on the line? I'm sorry, on the call 207 area code.
Caller. Well, you're number 3 caller. You won the tickets.
Just some time.
Oh, yeah, that's why you got it.
Right.
This is really testing the numbers.
650-8364.
Yeah.
Let's start with the pledge. Everybody. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everyone to this holiday season. And let's start with the roll call.
Mr. Albrecht.
Here.
Laszlo. Here. Day.
Here.
Gurecki. Here. Serrano. Warnzak.
Here.
Bono.
Here. Okay, we have a quorum present. Let's go to mission statement, Mr. Pizek.
The Herkimer County Industrial Development Agency delivers economic incentives to businesses, industry, to diversify and strengthen Herkimer County's tax base and enhance community vitality by supporting job creation, business and industrial development, and community revitalization. We strive to develop the local economy in an organized, sustainable, and economically beneficial manner.
Thank you. Mission, minutes have been sent to you and on your packet on pages 1 through 5. For the October 25th meeting, are there any additions, corrections, deletions, or anything you want to say about those minutes sent? Hearing nothing, I'll need a motion to accept. Mike, what's that, second by Ann? Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Carried. Item number 5, the October financials are on pages 6 through 12. Financial report, balance sheet, check register, RLF status, and SBE1. Those, fund balance. Okay.
Sure. Once again, we're looking good at our financials. Everybody's caught up on all of the payments that are owed to us. We will be receiving in some more project fees coming in. I believe everybody's up to date on their normal yearly fees to the agency. I think we had a couple that slowed down a little bit, but we had to push them. But more, other than that, everything is on track. We're still good on our budget, as you can see. Yeah, we're looking good right now.
Good. Anyone else?
We're also paid up with ours and continually paying the county back to the land. And some of the fifth payments started in both counties.
All right, any other questions for John? Any questions? Okay, need a motion to accept those financials. Corey, second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay. Carried. Item number 6, the small business loan and the grant funds. Report, we want to start us off. Kara's grant.
Certainly, I am continuing to work with business owners on their potential applications by screening inquiries to determine eligibility. As questions come up, I speak with John about that, and we do have conversations with homes of community renewal if there's something that we're unsure of, if it qualifies, or if we need additional information on something, we do reach out to them, and they do assist us with those questions as they come in. We do have 2 applications that are in the process of applicants that are in the process of completing their application, and one of which should be ready to present to the RLF committee prior to our next meeting. So you all should be seeing some more information on that application very soon. We do continue to market the program. Michelle at the Chamber of Commerce went to several businesses on Small Business Saturday, and she included our CARES information in what she provided to those.
We are not going to hit the deadline. There's no question about it. The process is a lot longer than our normal micro enterprise. The state and federal government have been very accommodating, and we need to broaden our rules on these grant opportunities. So, but we're definitely not going to get it. We're pushing it, just so you know. So if you know of anybody that's interested in it, I don't know. Did you ever have a chance to talk to Tony Moore?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, there's just, people are afraid of it too, because it scares, and other people were afraid because they got other loans or things during COVID and they're coming back. So, but you would think they would be more strict on this money. They're really not. They know that they want to release it. And as long as we monitor it for the jobs, if those are part of the project, we're good. So, but we really need to get more money.
But this application that I'm working on right now is for 100,000. So that's quite a large chunk of it. So most of what I'm seeing are larger project requests. So we're not getting those small minimum 25,000 requests. Most of it is upwards of 85. So that being said, if we do have a few large applications, we may get through that a little sooner.
What's the date that the funds need to be exhausted
June,
by?
June 23rd.
June 23rd. And is that the funds have to be exhausted, or we have to have applications in process to exhaust?
They should be drawn down by that point. So if there are still funds in that pot of money by that date, we'll need to seek an extension at that point. But if we reach out early in the year, March, April, and say, you know, this is where we're at, this is where we're looking to head, they will absolutely give us that. We just need to keep those doors of the communication open.
Remind me again how much we had on that?
500,000.
500
And
years.
yeah, only a year. Normally the money price is 2 years. And but Small Business Development Center, they've been active with us. They just changed the director, but they didn't skip a beat. So, you know, we've been, whatever we need to pull together, we're able to do. It's just getting the people that want to do it. So.
Is it up on our website?
It is.
Can you do that one?
What did our board member just say? It's a view our website. That should be your first, like, would you have your coffee in the morning? When you have your coffee in the morning, you can do it on your iPad and phone now, so.
I just put it on Facebook.
Yeah, you did.
She put a QR code on it also, so if someone gets the flyer in their hand, they can scan it and it goes directly to the website to the application.
I'm in love with the QR code. I just love it. It's a weird thing. I mean, it's a weird thing. Right?
All right, so the small business,
Yes, we're set with that.
We don't have any money still.
Briefly on the 222, all payments made, and we have a minimal amount available to assist with the small project.
For more money?
I'll talk to you. Marketing update, let's go to number 7. Karen.
Cool.
Whatever. I'm not happy with that picture in the background.
It's coming.
Cold picture.
Well, it's cold out, so.
What do you got?
So originally, when John wanted me to find someone to take down the barn, I was just finding places online and reaching out, which did not work very well. So he had me make a post. It got 106 shares, which I think is a lot. And we had about like 15 people reach out through different platforms and stuff. So it has given us a little bit more of a lead than prior.
We haven't scheduled a lot of the calls. We've talked briefly with a few. Some of them want to come and actually see the site, and we'll have that done so they can see the posted beam. Posted beam and some of that architectural wood. Aaron did talk to Barnwood Builders and they couldn't come for like 2 years. So that wasn't worth it. And then another guy said, well, my guy likes to come and tear them down and rebuild them, but there's a heavy market, or there's too many in the market right now for that. And I said, well, that's okay. We're just selling the actual materials as well.
Local?
Around the state, yeah, especially through book fairs, they've all been around the state. So, yeah, it was it wasn't all my idea. I'd say Aaron said too, how can we make this better? Look at that's an excellent flyer.
So John mentioned we should feature like businesses that we've helped out. So I initially reached out to a bunch of different people, maybe like 10, and got absolutely no response, except for Alana was the first one. So, yeah, it was gonna be featured business of the week, and then since we didn't get a lot of response, it's now just whatever.
So one thing that Aaron is learning about is that when people sign agreements with us, part of the agreement, we're able to utilize them in marketing. But we always like to hear back from them too, and we thought it would be good, especially like we reached out to say PK's restaurant, which we love the name of it. But maybe they're at stat or they don't want anymore, or they're happy with what they're doing. So we understand that too. So, however, I mean, we see this happening all over, and those were two great teachers, and we're very excited about doing that. And we want to continue that, but she's right. We did want to do business of the week since we've helped so many people. But like sending an email to Tractor and saying, what can we feature? We're so far in the bottom of the list. They're never gonna.
What you said, you sent an email, you actually go out and knock on the door. I mean,
So that's what you just sent an email?
Well, there's a reason for some of these too, because like a restaurant, they're not around most of the time. But no, after we had conversation, sure, but you got to start it somewhere.
I understand,
But to be honest, with all of the things that we're doing right now, there's a lot, going on. So to dedicate time out of the office right now to go do this is a nice thing to have. It's really a warm and fuzzy, but it's not going to keep our doors and lights on. You know what I mean? So I agree that maybe after the seat week, maybe next spring, if it,
Do a phone call.
yeah, but we got a lot going on, so it's got to be in that realm. So we thought after doing it a couple times, people will start responding to it. But let's be honest, we want to help them. We give them this opportunity. We've supported them money. Now I got to go visit them to help them again, to put something on my website. I don't think so. Come on, you got to be a business.
Can you create these yourself? Because we have
Yeah.
information on the front.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I
Oh,
did
yeah.
for the Jones
But
family.
do you want, are you trying to get them to like,
We want updates and we want a little more
Yeah.
buy-in,
okay,
but they don't have to. And we'll do it
Yeah.
again. It's just was a thought to do because we
Yeah,
see
I
it
like
happen
that.
in other ones,
yeah.
I don't have the time right now.
No, I understand.
I don't think they want to, I don't think our podcast will be
For a
focused.
video, it's just a short clip maybe, or maybe.
We'll put that down and we can discuss that, sure.
Maybe it's-
Looking to highlight businesses that receive either CARES money or CPQ or
Anything.
pilot.
Yeah,
or-
anything. So that's like, we'll probably reach out to Mike Libertor next at HBK because he loves this kind of stuff and he loves seeing his name. So he'll be part of that. Yeah, so thank you. And so, I mean, he'll do something and that's what we want to do. Nothing great, but it just gets us out in front again. But we can't make it something that's a lot of added work, like going to them. We're
Yeah.
only doing a little thing on social media. Okay, stop a second. So I'm still upset about this. I'm still upset about this. So for those of you who attended the EDC meeting, we'll talk about that a little later. I was asked to do a presentation on land development. And I thought, well, why not show a video of this? For those of you who remember back in the 80s, Rodney Dangerfield went back to school. And one of his classes was economics and it was property, and she'll show it in a second. But I specifically said when I got there, did you run this on the stage this morning? And she said, yes. Then when it came time, it didn't work. And I said, did you run it? No, I ran it on my own computer. So they played, no matter where you are, and once again, that site too, that place isn't too up to date. But I'm still mad, but go on.
Can you watch it?
Yes.
I really-
I forgot to look.
Take it easy, take it easy. It's the first.
On the board,
You will see a cost analysis for construction of a 30,000 square foot facility, which will encompass both factory and office space and is fully serviced by all utilities, a railroad spur line, and a 4-bay shipping dock.
Hold on, why build? Hey, you're better off leasing at $1.25, $1.50 a square foot. Take your down payment and put it into CDs, or something else you can roll over every couple of months.
Thank you, Mr. Mellon. But we'll be concentrating on finance a little later in the term. For the time being, let's just concentrate on the construction figures, shall we? You will see the final bottom line requires the factoring in of not just the material and construction costs, but also the architect's fees and the costs of land servicing.
Oh, you left out a bunch of stuff.
Oh, really? Like what, for instance?
Well, first of all, you're gonna have to grease local politicians for the sudden zoning problems that always come up. That is the kickbacks to the carpenters. And if you plan on using any cement in this building, I'm sure the team should like to have a little chat with you, and that'll cost you. Oh, and don't forget a little something for the building inspectors. Then there's a long-term cost, such as waste disposal. I don't know if you are familiar with who runs that business, but I assure you it's not the Boy Scouts.
That'll be quite enough, Mr. Mellon. Maybe bribes and kickbacks and mafia payoffs are how you do business. But they are not part of the legitimate business.
Oh, it's gonna stop, but that's okay. So that was, it was a little bit more than that, but we just were, wanting to show kind of the humor side to everything. The rest of it. Okay. Do you have anything else?
Let's go on to actuarial evaluation.
You know what, I'd like Stacy to talk about why we have to do this. It's the federal.
No,
Oh,
it
I'm
has to
thinking
do
of
with
one.
our, like retirement, and they need to make all the figures and to show what we need to pay in the future. So every other year, they do a full evaluation. This year, it's, they don't call it a full when they go by last year's figures, so it's a little less this year. Last year it was double that. So it's required now for any, single audit.
The firm we utilize is one that was recommended to us. I think they
Yeah.
counted.
Aquarius, yeah, so.
Double, is there a bill in here?
No, it's just, we just need to get them lined up in order to start that for next year. Start in January for this year's audit. It's all part of the audit.
So, yeah, he asked us, he'd send us an email with a $1,300 quote on it.
Right, so there's no bill yet.
It's not. Like, should we? Well, this is the half year, or the second year. So do you think there's anybody local that is more financially? Is there anybody local that you think we could utilize for that? Or not?
You could get it out, the issue might, that you might run into is just their capacity to be able to, that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, that's why we reached out to him. Scott. That-
Aquarius Capital.
Yeah, aren't they like Long Island or something? It's down near the city. Because that's what we got through Sherry. And actually, our first year, we didn't know we had to do it. And he snuck us in. But now we're ahead of it, so. And no, since she said that's a big.
All right, let's go on
No,
to,
we need them.
I'm sorry. I need a motion to accept that. Sorry? Mike, discussion. In favor, aye. Any opposed, nay. Carried. Item number 9 is the half a dozen items there for the Skyler Park. Now let's start with the first one.
The first one is the water extensions, roads B and C. We already voted on that line, so we just really need to ratify it with a formal vote today.
Need a motion to, vote. Tim, second, Cory, any discussion? On favor, aye. Any opposed, nay. Carried. We do waste sandwich, page 15, 18.
So we have reached out 10 different sign places between Albany and Syracuse. And no one will even get back to us with a potential for a float. I can't understand this market today, to be honest with you. But this sign is a large, very sturdy sign. It'll truly show off our park. They're not inexpensive. We're not putting up materials that'll fall down or make it look not like a presentable sign that should be in that business park. We'll talk more about the tenants in executive session. It'll be up on a mound. It'll rest up higher, so snow won't cover it up. It's really outdoor materials. But as you can see, the cost on it is about $67,000. When you look at the other signs that we put in, they wore pretty quickly. They were about 20-something thousand all in. I think the investment is here. This is our signature park in Herkimer County. I'm not gonna fight over yes or no. I know we need one. The customers that are there now are expecting one. If anybody has idea, I mean, these guys are Sequoia. Stevie knows. He's the only guy that's getting back to us. Yeah, you go from TRU. He's all with a big guy, TM Turbo Machine product up in, no, Turbo Resources Unlimited up in, I know. So I don't know. This is, I mean, we, not for a lack of trying, did we reach out. Gave them similar specs to all these other places. We sent it in online. I called, we emailed, we followed up with emails. Got nothing.
What's the base for it? Which is-
That was all steel.
Yeah, there's a lot of it. The support is aluminum and steel. But aluminum is great too. It's gonna wear forever. It doesn't rust.
The other signs that they actually, like, we had to replace them.
Oh, yeah, they're down.
Yeah.
The worst one is we haven't touched it yet. Well, Mannheim's coming down. We'll talk about that, but
When you did that. you
West
very-
Frankfurt's gone. We took that one down. It's the one in, one that looks awful. It's in Frankfurt.
Oh, and then,
Yeah, at Fiber Dining, the parking lot.
Yeah.
oh, I see. We haven't-
But that's not ours.
Yeah.
Which one? That, just the billboard?
Big.
No, that was theirs. They put that up for employment at one time, and then at Future Home or Heidelberg, they put it up. I keep wanting to ask if we can come take that down.
So once we get the initial tenants up there, any additional time we can be charged for how's this work?
Well, if you want, we pretty much have an additional time this after this,
So it would be.
full. But I still will
What
look,
we need to change, say something changed.
we contact them. I don't know.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, I got no idea. I didn't ask him about that. It can't be that much. We'll already have the plaque that it goes on. See where it says tenant, that'll come off, tenant, and he'll put on there the name of the company. We will always keep our number on there and probably a QR code now too, since I'm. QR codes to use.
The only thing is I don't think it shows what the size lettering is for the actual. pattern.
2 inch.
That was the only- Two, where does it,
Range.
it's the aluminum frame, but I didn't see how big the lettering was for the tenant, so I just wanted to make sure that's big enough.
Well, I'm not gonna assume, however, if he's been building signs, that I would really assume that it'll be large enough to see. I don't know if you've seen the signs that are over in Frankfurt where Tractor Supply is. And Tractor Supply put up their own sign and put the names underneath it of the other ones. Yeah,
It just might be worth asking, because
Yeah.
if you find out that it is only 2 inch, I don't
no,
think
it's not.
big enough. So, I
See,
mean, you
that's-
can see the business park is 8 inches, so.
Just
I
be
don't
smaller
know,
than that.
just a thought.
Yep.
This like maybe 4 inch.
All
Which
right,
is
I'll find out,
only, I mean,
That's what it's-
which is half
Yeah.
the size of this paper. So that's 4 inch.
Oh. No, all of these are those attack. Side of the actually smaller.
Those will all be pretty much full.
Not if it's-
But on the other one,
To Tim's point, we have 6 tenants, whatever. To fill that space, can we make those, the Home Depot bigger, Fountainhead bigger, instead of 4 inches tell them that they could size it accordingly to whatever the tenant space is. To the lot.
Sure,
And then we just get bigger.
sure. No problem.
Phil,
We don't want to make the sign any bigger itself. though. That's- And I think that would take more boarding itself, but that'll be a minor change that won't cost that much. He's cutting them out. And they're aluminum, I'm sure. And we're gonna try to keep one that'll say, like for additional property, 98 or something like that, just so we have something that's.
What's the timeline?
8 weeks. 8 weeks, do you remember what he said? I think he said something like that. Yeah, 8 weeks, I think it is.
Wait this spring.
No, you'll get calling it.
They for town field and looking for the. I'm just.
I would,
The customers or tenants already in that part. John Lawrence probably calls me every 2.5 weeks wondering where the sign is. And like I said, I think we'll have it by 8 weeks' time. We should be all good then.
Getting in there with the next time.
I don't know. I'll find out. We didn't get one for the front sign, but that's okay. This will be in our state. Thank you.
More details later. Okay,
you
so
might want to
yeah, it's just
up to a certain dollar amount then, I mean, 66, but you know.
Up to 70.
I'm saying, I mean, it's only good for 30 days. They have, things may fluctuate, we have here.
we need a sign, folks. What's the flavor here? Need a motion?
They're already in there.
Yeah, a motion. I'm in a motion. Motion by Mike, second. Tim, yeah, any discussion? In favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay.
When we get the proofs, we'll send it around to everybody.
Let's look at the numbers for each individual. We got that. We will have 70. Six, just fill it.
We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, let's go to the park entrance discussion. This one.
Well, I think it's actually, for safety reasons, we really have to look at some things. So we had Delta go out there with their transportation people, and they did a study on site view. They're also waiting for crash investigation and signal timing from the DOT, which we should have had when we promised us this week. They had to foil that. Level of service currently configured to a conventional T intersection does fail with all the build out. So it does look like we will have to add a stoplight at that location. So what we'll most likely do is put where the Y is now, we'll go straight through the middle of the Y, put a stoplight there and have some turning lanes off of the Line 5S or Route 5, and maybe something more in the park. Some of our initial conversations with DOT has been that they want us to move the road down, which will encroach on the convenience store. And that's a problem. And it also does take away from the line of sight, line of service. However, they said we should cut some trees, which is also on our property, which I have no problem with. We have to keep safety first. I have a problem moving them. So what we're gonna do as soon as we get back the data, Delta will get the data from DOT on this week. They'll come back with something and we'll submit it to them, and then we'll set up a meeting with myself, Mr. Bono, Delta, and their engineer at DOT and have a further discussion. No one will complain about the light, I don't believe. We'll also reach out to the town to make sure they're okay with it. not to turn into the park for safety.
But not if you're going straight.
Oh, no, you're gonna have
Yeah.
to, oh, it's gonna be there.
Yeah, I think
But who would complain? Just people that drive by? I don't think we have to worry about that.
Yeah, I don't
Think
think
we hit the brakes on the icy
there's
bridge.
only one.
Well, you're gonna have-
there's Only one light for that.
You're gonna have some notification on both sides that is coming up, as well as our industrial park, because we have nothing there now.
So they're saying that they're requiring a light because of the trucks turning out and for, and
And
turning
turning
in
in, yeah.
for the safety of the traffic. And they have their studies, but we haven't received those studies back.
Well, no, they have like a crash report. Which we don't know of any, and you do see some skid marks out there. But, like, Chris maybe said that tractor trailer that's empty, all of a sudden it's upon them. They'll hit the brakes and that locks up the back, so yeah, which, you know, that's understandable too, but there has been really no crash reports that we're aware of, and we'll know more on that. I think for the most, you know, I know Mr. Bono thinks that a traffic light will cause more crashes. I think we have to listen to what DOT is gonna push for us. There's ramifications down the road if we don't. I mean, we don't wanna go to court over this. They're trying to keep us to a 2004 seeker. When the park is gonna be built out differently, we don't agree with that, so we have to push back on that. They said they understand, none of us were here then, so I think we might have been on the board, but what did we know about the noise and like that? We weren't involved. So I think the best thing right now for that park is that we wait for that data to come back, but I believe we're probably thinking roughly around 500,000. Yeah. Well, we're gonna be by then. No, they'll help us because they want trouble with being a signal. But that's not an event. They were crazy to put it on that island and park. That made no sense why they put that there.
As far as any further maintenance, once the light is put in, it's our understanding that you sign a maintenance agreement with the state and they maintain that. Involved.
They do the
Time,
just
signaling,
signaling.
the timing, and all that, so our hands are washed after that, pretty much. That's like, they charge us for it, I don't think that they just accept it as their under
I
system.
mean, I would hope that they would help with some sort of grant.
Pretty sure they will. We'll look for resources for that.
So let's wait for that study to come in.
Well, with the full build out on the park, it's gonna, there's no question. What I would like to see after looking at our potential for that build out of that convenience store would be not to just go straight through the line.
But the stoplight would help the convenience store, it's, I don't even know, I've heard this, so true or not, but whether there's a stoplight, that's what convenience stores like to be, because somebody's like, I'm here, let me pull in and get whatever, if you get, otherwise they just go right by, so maybe it's a enticement for a convenience. Yeah.
I think we're okay with it. You know, I think everything, I mean, the park traffic alone and mobile home facilities around that area encourage that type of business.
When we did the Frankfurt Business Park, we put the light in, you put the exit ramps, I mean, is that post build or is that all included in a study at that time? I mean, how was that? Yeah.
We had different representation that we don't have anymore. And that's a problem right now. It's a big problem right now. We'll talk about that too. But you know, we have a lot other property issues that, you know, we can discuss, and it's gonna really come back to us what we do.
Well, I think the thing being, these problems arise after we've already said, hey, we're gonna put this business park in, all of a sudden the problem's pretty tough. You know, I mean, this is where
I think
Is it our-
yeah.
Yeah, we gotta kind of get.
There's no
Do we have to
IDA
get
book
ahead of
for dummies. So I mean,
No,
we usually had a guideline to follow. I didn't know that they didn't know about this as much as they said. However, one of the people that is in top management at DOT, we bought property from. So how did they not know?
Well, that's what I'm saying, the DOT has to kind of get ahead of it, to let us know. Instead of
They
coming
won't
back
do it
saying, "Oh,
without.
by the way.
No. That's like the water authority too. Everybody's, oh, by the way. You'd be shocked at the meetings we have and then we get, oh, by the way, you need to do what? Here's this document. No, didn't.
Two steps forward, one step back, what are we doing? Let's work together.
Speaking about future property, we did it again. Which one? The park entrance.
It's just discussion.
Yeah. Okay, so if we did it, it would be fine.
So just so you're aware of that, it'll be coming forward soon. But it's something to keep in mind.
Much point, available property in the future.
Well, no, I mean, this is for Skylar, that business park, available property lot. We'll talk about, that's gotta go to executive session.
The water tower.
So the water tower, another, by the way. We are not sure exactly where we are with water today. We're gonna have a meeting after this at 10:30 with Barton and Judas to get more up to date. The lead engineer for the water authority quit. Take 2 weeks notice. He's done Friday. The gentleman before him, he stepped down, doesn't want to assist. I'm concerned. And so there's and also what we go after too for the thing that's called, it's fast New York. It's for business parks to get them more running shovel ready and we'll go after that. But we're also gonna go after it for a water tower, which will have a quote by the end of the week. We want to make sure that whatever goes into the park, and it's not going to be heavy water users, it's mostly just human consumption. There'll be one processor, and then with the convenience store, with a car wash, 90% of that's recycled anyways, that water. So we're most likely going to have to put a tank on the hill there where the solar guy is to develop. So I have Delta looking at that right now. The good thing is, because it's up higher, it can be ground level. The bad thing is we can't get a good read on where to put the tank, whether it's in this park or further up the road, and if we put it further up the road, it still help us. It's a lot of chicken and egg stuff right now. So the best thing to do, and which we can talk about the development in the park, there's some purchase offers we have to talk about, that'll help determine where this water facility goes. No matter who builds in there, except for like the convenience store, they're gonna need to put a water tower in for fire suppression, which is not enough pressure. And Pepsi, we were told Pepsi didn't need to, and it's getting close with them. So if we put this water tower in, it won't only give us the backup for drinking water, it'll also help control the pressure too. So it won't drop lower in the system.
So what is Delta's looking at?
Well,
Or where-
so the water, Barton LaJudas is looking at the water system itself.
okay.
So there's a certain software package that they have to buy that helps you download all these models into it and where it is throughout the entire system. And their system was so big, a smaller group, or even Barton LaJudas couldn't do it before they had to buy this package. So they've had a lot of issues with bringing it from the water authority software into the newer version. They think they resolved that, and we're hoping that's what they tell us this morning. With that being the case, then they can do the modeling to show us that there is enough water to support this. And they want to pull from the same line to support the water transmission line extension. So we have to look at how much of a tank we're going to put. If we put it here, what will it support? If we put it further down the road, closer to Utica, how much will that support? Will it still continue here? There's a 10,000 gallon tank up one of the back roads that services the Thruway Authority. We can't take away from the Thruway rest area. So there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to the water, and none of it's blowing the trend down. Yeah, so Mr. Bono says, look, if we got to buy a 1 million gallon tank, we buy a 1 million gallon tank, and which is cool, as long as it supports what we need to do. Can we fill it? Does it drain down at the right time? Is it going to support all the water? with the new tenants and everything else we're looking to do. So it's not cut and dry. It's something I thought that the water authority, just like National Grid, would tell us, okay, this gas pipe will cover your whole park. That's not the way it works with the water authority. We have to tell them everything. We have to examine what they can give us and tell us, we tell them, yes, this will work according to the model, which makes no sense to me. No, we didn't contract with Barton Judas.
Or
We
we-
did Delta.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Delta. And then Barton Judas is doing this because they're the main contractor for the water transmission. Which, if he has a thought of charging us on our call today, he's got another thing coming. So,
And then, sorry, how does this connect with the Landco?
so Landco right now on roads B and C, Usick and Huber roads, drives, they're running the water lines down those now so the buildings can connect into it.
Okay,
So tomorrow, if we turned on the switch and we had water, we'd have water there. We would also, Orange Crush or Home Depot's building their own fire tank now, so that would fill up, they wouldn't have an issue. But say there was another issue there, most likely, or everybody turned on water at the same, most likely Pepsi's alarm would go off for the fire suppression, saying they don't have enough pressure. Now, what I thought would change, and this is what I was told by their previous engineer, we're gonna do a loop and connect into a 10-inch main that runs over to, and stop me if you don't want to hear anymore, because I'm happy to stop it. 10-inch line that goes over to the rest area. And we were told that would increase pressure. Now we're being told that might not help.
And increase pressure, increase valve. The difference.
But they're both coming from the same place, so I can't get my arms around how that's gonna help. Doesn't make sense.
So the Delta or Barton, Judas is telling you, yeah, this is gonna supply the pressure, I mean.
The water authority originally said it, and then now Barton said it, but we don't believe it, and neither does Delta. Because we can't, the hydraulic modeling has not been done since late 70s, early 80s. There's been so much added in Skylar along the way. And there's just too many things that they don't have a way to update it. They don't have specialists at the water authority. Actually, because of us, they went out to bid for this large contract with another firm to upgrade their whole systems stuff, but they're way behind.
The bottom line is that there's enough water in the system, starting at Hinkley.
Oh, starting at Hinkley,
There's
there's
enough water in the system. So that's the people with not enough water. There's enough water. The problem is when it comes down in these veins, you gotta look at it as veins in your body. You know, you start with the bigger veins, then it goes down to your fingers, which are tiny veins. You're trying to feed a bigger vein with those smaller veins, and you're just not getting the volume through that. And there's, it's called head loss, where you, the more pressure you put in or more volume you try to push through a pipe, you lose, it's called friction loss, and you lose that pressure. It's sort of like a fire truck, the longer the hose is, by the time it gets to the end, it's like a garden hose. When you're close to the truck, you got all kinds of pressure. So it's sort of the same system. So those pipes that are coming into Skylar, 10-inch and 12-inch, we're trying to feed a 24-inch with a water transmission main. The math doesn't.
It's like the vein in my neck getting ready to explode from all of this stuff.
It's close, and you could rectify it by putting in tanks, supply tanks that will make up the difference on off-peak hours. It's a lot of outdoors.
So after the transmission line and everybody's hooked up, we're gonna do like that Hands Across America thing and let everybody flush at once and see what happens to the system. So that's where we are with the water tower for the short story long. No,
But.
I truly don't
we weren't
believe
getting
we
the- We weren't getting the information back up to the sense they were saying
You-
that this will work, right?
you have, the conversations got to the point that it's not good. And there's a time we're gonna have to open that information up to everybody. And the new vice president of water for Martin Judas, Chris Lawton, doesn't have much of a leg to stand on. So we're hoping that after today we get some more information. There's no way. I told them from the beginning, because I understand, when you take it, it's like your home computer that you had forever, or your mom's. Now you bought her a brand new one this year. All that stuff isn't gonna run on there. But there are ways to make it work, and there are things that have to be adjusted. For some reason, oh, it's gonna work. It didn't work. This has been going on since August. And here we are in December.
So the red light is. If we have problems, the chances that other people in the system are gonna have problems with expansion in other, right, down or whatever. So it'd be interesting to see how those projects progress and, you know, they ask those questions. So, okay. Yeah, good with the water tower.
That's good. I hope so. And we're gonna put Jimmy's picture on it, so just. so you know. Then the water main extension and water supply. What one was that again?
That's with the water authority.
Oh, yeah, so we had to sign that in order to do the extension. They charge us to come look at it. They charge us a deposit, so we give them the as-built, and then we get the deposit back. You know, it's just amazing to me how much they charge us to get their own customer stuff.
Let's make sure the inspector is there when we inspect.
Well, they do.
$1.64.
They do inspect, they're there, the guy smoked, chewing on a cigar the whole time. Good guy too. So, but we need that voted.
Need a motion
That's
to
a new
accept
one,
it.
too.
That's for $8,500, $8,540.
A plus, right? Is it
Yes,
85?
there is a-
Plus the 4,000.
Please, someone, a motion. Lori, second, Tim. Any discussion? No favor, aye. All right, any opposed, nay. Carried. All right, let's go to the Chamber of Commerce, sponsorship opportunities.
Yeah, so in the past, we used to sponsor the book and do a lot more with them. As we do more with the smaller business loans and grants and the CARES, plus the opportunity that we get for, you know, the room and other things that we work out with them. I'd like to increase our sponsorship up. I'm leaning either towards the corporate sponsor or the presenting sponsor. It's not so much what we get out of it, it's what the chamber does for the community and the county. I don't know if you had a chance to see her postings for the chamber over the weekend, 15, 20 small businesses. We get to listen to Jimmy speak once a year up at the college. We get to have all of the other representatives in once a year. They have a golf tournament, and other events. I think it's giving back, you know, to a group that we work closely with. You know, across town. So I think it's up to you all if you want to do the $5,000 one. You know, 2,500. I don't think 5,000 is asking too much from us. I think we were doing 28 plus some other things in the past. With the book that nobody does a book on. That's the thing. Everything's online. They're gonna work on a QR code. But like over 28 plus other things throughout. So this year we'll probably, you know, if we did the 5,000, then, you know, if there was something else I thought of value, I would bring it to you, but I think 5,000 is good. Oh, my God, yeah, we're not committed. I have it in mind. It's on page 26. There you go. Flip one more back.
It'll start in January.
Yes,
So it's the
full year.
full year 23.
Yeah. We'll get a banner in here. I mean, they have a lot of meetings and you can get on their website. Yeah, I think the corporate's
Moving. And second. Lori, discussion. Favor, aye. Any opposed, nay.
and that'll be 500 from each of you as well. I don't know if you read the fine print.
How do you pay?
I stipend, yeah.
Mr. Day didn't even flinch at that, so he's good with that.
So item 11, Pine Grove Road, Town Purpose, phase 2, USA.
That might not have been in there either. We got a lot over the holiday weekend here. Believe it or not, a lot of people worked on Friday, including me, which was okay. So, had a meeting at the town of Herkimer. To be honest, we really haven't done an awful lot for them as far as what we could do to support them with development. So they are looking at purchasing the old Pine Grove School. It's up near the elementary school. It's on Grove Road, actually, right? There's a lot of opportunity uses for it. What we'd like to do is, do a phase 2 study, which we have listed in here from HRP. HRP didn't do the phase 1. CT Mail did, and I can't remember their cost, but it was quite a bit higher than what HRP would have charged. Yeah, very high. It's somebody that knew, I think that was it, or, Gray, Chris Gray. So what I'd like to do is, with some of our money, study money to go after and help support this. We're also gonna be working with another company to do some type of, study on what the building can be used for, because everybody, we're all in a room together, just like the venue one we're doing later. Tim could want a daycare, Mike could want, because he's retired now, retirement center. Jimmy could want more of a STEM place. So we're gonna do a planning study with it too, but we need more data from it. This is not uncommon what we've done for other people too. Right now, it's an individual company, but they've agreed to sell it. Because it's on a lot of septic systems, that's the concern of doing the phase 2 as well. We really need to see what that ground can do and what can happen.
What's the town's intention for that building?
Once again, they think maybe a daycare slash rec center, but we're gonna bring in a planning group, what's the name of it?
What's in the example?
And have them sit with a group of people, including their residents, and say, what would you like to see here and what would justify it? It's not just gonna be
So the town's open to.
open to anything. Oh, yeah.
So what's the reason for the town offices?
No, they're not gonna move the office.
The town isn't going to be office.
No. No, they want to make that for like a community center or whatever else they feel is so can be needed. Yeah, no, as far as I know, they never said they were moving. I said, would you put your offices or the town highway offices there? No, they want to make it more of a community type thing.
So we don't really know the cost of going forward there.
Well, it won't be our cost to modify that building unless we can help them with some EPA grants and other ones, which we will do, of course. But
Okay, so we need a motion on.
to go through with the phase 2.
Wait, second, hold on, discussion. On favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, nay, carried. Item 12, environmental facilities and municipal grants. Pages 34 to 35, this is for the, transmission main.
Oh, yes. So this is the grant that we received for $9.3 million. I don't know if I let everybody know that yet. So we didn't really hear much back, but $9.3 million we received towards this project. One of the largest in the state. Once again, this is federal money. So this is once again one of the largest grants they offered at this time in the state for infrastructure project. And we just need to accept it. Acknowledge and accept it. So we need a
Motion.
from the-
And second, Cory, discussion. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, nay.
Nobody has any questions on how we received this $9.3 billion, one of the largest.
I did read that and I thought that they're gonna follow up with the requirements, but this is just, you need to acknowledge by December 2nd.
Yeah.
Acknowledge it.
Yeah, but we
So,
already
not
have
like
all
you're-
the requirements done. That's how we got it. We had many meetings on that. grant. Yeah, and all they kept trying to do is get us to take a loan too, because we are not only taking a loan.
So they don't ever explain what DWSRF, that acronym means. I read that. The financing. That-
It's
that-
drinking water,
Yeah,
some drinking water
Infrastructure.
service, yeah. Drinking water something.
Water infrastructure.
You're just acknowledging it, December 2nd. That's how you.
Okay, the only reason why we're able to do that is because we have 60%.
Anyone else? Let's go to item 13.
So what is the
29.
The transmission.
From,
Skylar,
okay.
that's about a $24 million project, and we probably have on top of this, another 6 to 7. trying to get all the committees, what we don't get, the communities have to bond for. So our goal is, and Mr. Bowman's from the beginning, is that we don't, the communities don't have to pay a dime for this transition.
What's your address? Here. Thank you.
Just send it here, you know, the 420 East Main, I mean, East German. Oh, pretty soon it's Main.
Let's go to
Which
item
is a whole nother
14,
topic.
29 design, public relations, page 36. This is in regard to.
Two-way harvest facility possibilities, so we want to move ahead with 29 Design Group is a food processing specialist. And we're looking to not only create impact statement and release, but also help monitor and move ahead with the project.
It's not the same.
No, that was Albany, and we did everything with them that we needed to do.
Well, what's the difference?
So I would rather, since this is kind of like a contract and to negotiate with them, I'd rather discuss that in executive session if you don't want. Now, you can support it now with further conversation or vote on it when you come out. It's up to you.
I'm good with supporting it now. I just. All right.
Well, we would not sign on to this. We wouldn't execute this contract, so it's contract.
Let's go to the executive
Okay.
session. Let's go to the.
Okay.
Questions. All right, let's go to EPA grant consultant, HRP.
So, Victoria has the RFP in front of her, if anybody wants to see it. So according to our rules and the EPA rules, we sent it out to 3 responsible firms that could bid on the project. The EPA grant, which by the way, we won is $148,120 and administration fees is $18,880. And we received 1 valid bid back. Contacted the EPA, they're well aware of it, we still need a resolution, that's not it. It's HRP. So we didn't put it in the packet, I mean, you can see the bid if you want to review it. We do a Rubik's on it to see where they set up, they're in the 90%, so they meet all the qualifications. They were our contractor before for our $200,000 EPA grant. The EPA just needs a board resolution that says, yes, we want to move ahead with HRP. They have the finance, they have the staffing, a proven company. There is some public planning that they will outsource to other groups too. That's not one of the strong points.
Need a motion. And second, Mike, discussion. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay, carried.
Once again, we received a $500,000 EPA grant for Herkimer County, and the state of New Jersey received a $2 million. So we received 1/4, or 1/3, or 1/4 of what New Jersey received. Unbelievable.
Close, yeah. Item 15, Manheim Business Park was the reclamation facility, water reclamation.
In order to do some upgrades to the park, we've included from Barton LaJudas, working with Delta on what would need to happen to their primary sewer plant. And that's all listed in here, including the dollar amount that's listed in here as well. And it just flew out of my head, and I wrote it down, and I think it's like 37. What is that?
34/7.
34/7, okay. So we're looking to move ahead with that as well. Martin LaJudas has been the engineer for the sewer plant down there in Dolgeville for many years now. And we would need to work with them through Delta to make sure everything is up to speed to support not only what our parks there, but to support the growth.
So we're familiar with the landscape.
They're very familiar. They've been working with the plant people for years now.
Any questions? For the motion. Gloria, second, and discussion. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay, carried. Item 16, Third Path Energy, Manheim One LLC.
Well, there's a couple things about this one. One is we received the full payment of the project, about $96,000 way back, months ago. And Tony has been talking to their attorney to get everything through. They are almost complete with the project. So after, Tony's recommendation to keep this moving, now whether we close on it fully with them this year or not, that'll depend on a couple things. One is, it's listed in both the towns of Manheim and Salisbury. We're not exactly sure what's in Salisbury, and there's nothing in there from the board or a planning board or anything on Salisbury, so we need to clarify that. But Tony asked that as his request if we could move ahead with this project and support his amended and restated authorizing resolution, which you see on 44 to 40. Tony is out on vacation, or else he would have been here. And believe it or not, on vacation, he did a lot of these things as well.
The motion. Mike, second. One, discussion. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay. Carried. Let's go to item 17, Bloom Utica. Bloom Utica, John? John, Bloom Utica, please.
I don't know who that is. No. So, Bloom Utica has increased their project by 200,000 and increased their sales tax abatement by 100,000, over 100,000. So because of that, we have to redo their public hearing and accept a revised application for financial assistance. That application is in here. It's at page 50 through 53. We also included our cost benefit analysis too, if anybody has any questions on those. But I know Tony was waiting on a couple other things, but I think he's working with their attorney on that. But we would like to get the public hearing set to have that happen this year so we continue on. I'm sure all of you have been to the Skylar Business Park in the past couple of weeks and have seen the foundation going in. I was there yesterday about some National Grid things. And they're moving right along. They won't start construction on the building to the spring, but the foundation is very cool. It's really taken. So with Tony's recommendation, I recommend that this.
Yes, we need two separate items here.
You need to accept the revised.
Okay, let's do that. The revised application. The motion, Corey, second. Mike, discussion.
Really quick, I remember this from before in their notes, it said expected 12 to 18 jobs. And then on the front page, the economic impact has direct 35 and indirect 8. Is that an 8? I don't know. I just remember that from before and
That front is construction jobs. The
the
front,
12 to 18 is, or.
no, the front,
The front?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's construction jobs and they're not going to employ anybody directly, so we couldn't use their employees.
Yeah, because it's the developer of this building that's then they're leasing it out. Just like Pepsi's building.
So then, because I'm still getting used to reading these. So,
No, that's okay.
so then where's the 12 to 18 jobs come from?
Home Depot. That's expected.
Oh, and because it's the, okay, I got you.
You can't
Sorry,
include
I didn't
it in our,
remember that.
in our impact.
I didn't remember.
No, that's okay. So it's still at a 5-to-1 ratio, which is still good, even 1-to-1. Would still be better.
In favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Carried. Second public hearing, I need a motion to do that. Mike, second by Ann, discussion. In favor, aye. Any opposed, nay. Carried. Last item, under the regular agenda, EDF Renewable Warrior Solar Partners LLC. Let's start with a revised application.
Can I just say?
You have done anyway. Go ahead.
So this is what solar was meant to do. This is going on a landfill in between Frankfurt and Utica on Route 5S. What brownfield redevelopment, especially a landfill, is great for renewable energy. So, we applaud not only the town of Frankfurt for moving forward with this, but also EDF Renewables for stepping in and working with Waste Management and taking over that facility, leasing that facility, and really supporting that project because, it's been a bring more electricity to the region, which we need, and also give another use for that. For that property, so thank you. Revised application for financial, you can see that's in there, total estimate on the project's $8.694 million. It's a straight lease. They also outline everything in the tax exemption. So I think we're giving you this all the way at page 68. If you have any questions on it as well, we'll definitely be able to answer that.
Need a motion to accept the revised application. Tim, second, Cory, discussion.
Sorry. So is it fair, is it a fair statement to say that projects like this will have a kind of upside down cost benefit ratio?
It's still 1-to-1.
So,
It's still 1-to-1. So this is still good for us and the state, because what it's bringing in is a property that's really not taxed much because it is a brownfield and an old dump. And now they're going to bring in some revenue from not only the leased land there, but also all during the construction time, and a continuation of a pilot payment and a host community benefit to the town.
okay, so maybe it's just my lack of understanding on how to read this. So we have the cost at 642.7, benefit of 381.8.
Okay, so when we look at from what the benefit is to the state and local, then
Yeah.
their cost, which is discounted at the 2%, the system will print out to say that the ratio on this is a 1-to-1. So the amount spent into it, a cost is giving back to the community, almost a 1-to-1. I know it's not 600,000.
Yeah, and I just, like I said, I think these
Yeah.
are still nuanced.
Yeah, and it's because of it being solar as well, and the job creation is only during the construction.
Right.
Now, I'm not sure with all of this solar we have going on, I would assume that there'd be an opportunity for some company to come in and do maintenance on these, as well as field maintenance and mowing and all that, but we haven't seen anything.
So we leave it on that?
No.
Sorry.
Further discussions? On favor, aye? Any opposed, nay? Carried. Can you do submit resolutions on your desk? You can approve that, so just a private going. Motion? Andy? Oh, no. And second by Mike. Discussion. On favor, aye? Any opposed, nay? Need a motion to set the public hearing, please. Cory, Mike, discussion. In favor, aye? Any opposed, nay? Carried. All right, do we have any elected officials or representatives? in our-
Andrea Hart's from EDF Solar and Bill McDonald from the college.
Hi, everyone. Andrea from EDF Renewables. Thanks, John. I'm glad we got on the agenda today. I have some sort of follow-up questions for the attorney, Anthony Hollock, that I can follow up in email if that's better for this session now.
I think it would be that you copy Lil, his assistant, which you have. And we'll have that one.
Yeah, sure thing. You got it. I think we're pretty close here to getting everything in. So yeah, thanks a lot and glad to see everyone here this morning. It sounds like you have a lot going on there. It's great to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks.
Have a great weekend. Good week.
Yeah, you as well. Have a great week.
Bill McDonald.
He left. Oh, no, there he is.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, just to echo with what Andrea just said, you know, every time I come to one of your meetings, I'm extremely impressed by everything that's going on. It's really quite remarkable. So hats off to all of you and all that you're doing. So I just wanted to thank the IDA. We're looking very much forward to, I see it's on your agenda, the Brownfield Developers Conference. It's coming up this spring. On behalf of the college, I'm certainly very grateful for that opportunity for us to host that event, and for you guys and your advocacy for bringing it not only to Herkimer County, but to the college. So very grateful. It goes without saying that anything we can do up here to support the IDA, you know, we stand at the ready. So I just wanted to throw that on the table. Other than that, we're at the end of next week. I can't believe it already. December 9th is our last day of classes. And then we have finals the week after that. So in my world, we're really cooking up here too. So.
Thank you. Kind words, John. Okay, let's go to project updates. John, you want? Sure.
Yep, IDA Academy, we talked a little bit about that. It was a great turnout in Oneida County, our neighbor. Had a lot of people from all over the state. Got to meet a few other people that I haven't seen in a while, and got to meet a few people that I've never met before. And someone came up to me during the after my presentation, and we'll discuss our conversation about some property they're interested in a little bit later. I want to just, I'll go down the list. 2 County Planning came here for a meeting we had with James Genovese and Dana DeChristina and a couple other of their staff, Casino and a couple of their staff. We asked for a bus survey. They said they were going to get right back to us with what happened in the meeting and what they needed from us. We have not heard back from them. And James Genovese said that he was going to reach out to the railroad to see if we can at least move ahead with a spur opportunity. DEC meeting, we had that here. It was kind of funny. We were originally going to have just a Zoom, then the lead individual out of Albany said, no, he wanted to come tour the facility. And he was the only one on the Zoom call. Everybody else came. So there was no sense. We went over for a little bit and someone else, but that was okay. But it went well. We were looking at the brownfield cleanup program. We also had a couple of developers that are interested in the site here for that. And that moved ahead very nicely too. So we're going to position ourselves, whether the village signs on and gets into it or not. That'll be something we look at. IDA pullovers. I know that Victoria sent to you all. Kind of wanted a couple other colors myself. So if anybody's interested, please let her know. I don't care for a hoodie, but maybe your gangs prefer that. We can look into that as well. Yeah.
Please do. But the same one every year.
What do you mean? We have colors.
I know, but I'm looking for style, John. I'm looking for style. Moving on.
Hoodies will do it.
Yeah,
For ya.
The Masonic Building in Herkimer, we got the approval to move ahead and do our phase 1 on that. We were there last week. We did button it up a little bit more. There is a good sized leak coming through a drain pipe on the roof that I'm having Howie just close off so we don't get any more damage to the building. It's not looking as bad as we thought. If anybody wants to go over and take a look, we can definitely do that. There's still bowling alley in the floor. We'll go this afternoon after a venue. No, I'm sorry, but no, we can go anytime, really.
Rain, like crazy.
So we won't go tomorrow, we'll go next week. We have the kids. Yeah, he's already got it fixed. Or actually rerouted it for right now. No, it's broken off. And there is a great room in there that's over 30 feet wide, over 30 feet high, and over 70 feet long. So we're gonna do some neat things there. If it moves ahead, we're gonna first wait. We can't do anything really on the structure or anything till June, when the county will take it out of the in-rem process. I talked to Lorraine about that. So we'll do phase 1. When that comes back, I don't believe we're going to need to do a phase 2. We'll do a little asbestos study. There wasn't much there. And then we'll do a structural, then we'll wait to see, but we just want to make sure everything is fine.
I thought I remember before that the county was not going to take it, because I remember saying.
They are
didn't
now.
See that there were property tax.
Yes. Oh, no, there's past due from 2016.
I know that, but I didn't know that the county was, so that has
Do you know who
changed.
said that to you?
Who said what?
That the county wasn't going to take it?
No, I think it was a year meeting.
Well, they wouldn't have taken it because they thought there was hair on it before.
Right.
So it never
they
was
don't-
that it wasn't paying taxes, on
No,
it. It was, they were always afraid because of, our previous attorney had x-ray eyes and could see into the ground and thought everything was contaminated. But our new person, she doesn't. And plus with these studies and the judge letting us on there, which was great too.
Okay.
So that's what we'll do, and then we'll know by then. And in the meantime, we'll work towards a lot of grant money to help fix that one.
You mentioned how us doing any work prematurely owning it. Legality wise, what's the
We're not changing the structure at all except stopping the leak. We're not removing anything else. We're stopping vagrants from going in there and making the property worse. That's all we're doing. We're not tearing down anything. We're not, even if we had to dig up in the backyard, we could do that as long as we put it
I
back.
understand what you're trying to do. I'm just saying, what if we do something wrong?
Like what? You gotta give me an example, because right now I told you
I
what
don't
we're
know, you
doing.
leave a nail sticking out on the board we put up. I don't know.
No.
I can't come up with it.
We're not acquiring. We're doing a phase 1 study.
We don't own it, and we're gonna do work on
We're
it
done.
prior to ownership.
We're done. We buttoned it up to secure it. So we don't want anyone to come back and say we did it.
Again, we don't own it, we're buttoning it up. I understand we want to preserve it. That's every good intent.
So what would you like to do? I guess I'd like. a
I'm just
solution.
asking. the
It's not,
legality.
I already said I checked it and there's no issue. But if you want something else, you gotta tell me.
Just want to make sure we're covered. Okay.
Where are we now? Brownfield Development Conference. So as Bill mentioned, we are having it here in Herkimer County in April. What we would like to do is sponsor the evening event at the Herkimer Diamond Mines. I'll get some pricing and everything, but I wanted to let you all know about it. So we'll have, like, after the event, a lot of the people that come to these are geologists. They're gonna get a kick out of it. We did an event there before with site selectors, remember, and it worked out really well. And I think this will do the same thing. Excuse me, there'll be developers, a whole host of people there. So I'll come back with some numbers for that. Sewer for the Frankfurt Business Park, sewer and water. Oh, no, sewer, let's see.